What is it that you feel most comfortable doing? All right. Yes, you're right, though. Settling these out, which is what we just talked about in the last meeting that I had, was that they need to call each individual collection. Now, these are credit cards. So when you call them and you say, hey, I would like to settle this account, they're going to give you an amount that they'll settle for. If it's not something that you feel like is a good deal because you don't have that much available, then give them a little more time and maybe they'll think a little harder about settling at a better rate. Okay. So you're talking about maybe a 50%, and I've heard lower. Some people will say they'll settle for 30. I don't know that exactly because I haven't done a lot of these settlements myself, but I hear a lot of good feedback about how people or these companies will settle with you. So it's important that you at least try to do that before you just jump into starting a payoff on these. The point is they've already ruined your credit and it's not going to get any better until it gets off of your credit, maybe in about 7 years. So do your best to settle out so that you're getting it done. It's not hanging over your head anymore. That's what we don't want, is that feeling that we sit around and we're owing somebody. So in one example, it was a business loan and they had a $29,000 balance that immediately the company come in and said, hey, we'll settle for 19,005. Well, that's $10,000 off with just a conversation. So maybe a little more time would lead them into wanting to settle for even less. The point is we're not trying to get by with what we bought. We don't want anything given to us. We don't want to, be the type of people that we don't want to pay for what we got. But when you're in a mess where you've got all of this going on and you're trying to clean up that mess, then, asking for settlements on these is a fair way, because probably, let's get real. Let's get real here for just a second for you guys who want to throw judgment stones. This is probably mostly interest, and they've already paid the bank, whoever this is, for what they actually bought. This is just piled up from interest over several months. So don't be getting holier than thou when you're talking about settling out on something, because the bank is always going to get theirs, so you don't have to worry. You're not taking food out of their little kitties' mouths when you don't do or pay these things in full. So, and they're going to get you on the tax side of it because they're going to send you a 1099 for whatever it is they write off for you. So you're not going to, be doing anything that's hurting anybody. You're just trying to fix your situation. So I think that was a nice way of saying don't be mean to people who are trying to get their situation into a better state so that they can stop the paycheck to paycheck living. We all live and learn. I've made mistakes that you will never make, maybe. You've made mistakes that I hope I will never make because I've had enough of my own. So when I see different situations, I'm never going to be like, oh, well, you did this to yourself. It's your fault. It's your fault. Now, don't be asking somebody to help you clean it up. I don't live that way, and I don't appreciate people that do. The point is we're all down here learning and we're all trying to get better. So let's do our best. Okay. All right. Let's see. We've got you guys talking to each other. I was just approved for an overdraft line of credit connected to my checking account, wondering how to use it to help pay off my car loan faster. Watch videos. That is a line of credit. And if you're watching videos, then you're going to understand how to use that line to start paying off debt. I have all of my credit cards automatically taken from my pay that is deposited every month, but my bank stopped charging overdraft fees. I'm so thankful for that. Well, that is awesome. Good. Good. We got Jesus in the house talking. Hello, hello. I'm 48 years old and I have made more progress in the last year and a half with velocity banking than I have in my entire adult life. Lydia, thank you so much for sharing that. I have done things that I never thought was possible, okay? Never thought was possible in my life just because of the situations that I've been in all of my life. So I know what you mean and I'm very excited for you. So, guys, stay in there. Now, when it comes to paying your credit, these collections, I mean, when they're already on your credit, it's not going to get any better than that unless, okay? And just go with me here because I did this back in the day when I was trying to clean up my credit score. What I did was I went into my credit report, and you're talking about Experian, TransUnion. You go into the reporting system online and you can file a dispute. So anything that is like this, if you will go in and dispute it with the agency online, like I said, you don't have to like walk into the brick and mortar building. Just go on there and mark that you want to file a dispute and then put a reason for why that's even there. Okay. So they're going to research it and they're going to find out if it's a valid reason why you don't want that on your credit report.